So I made sure that every free time that I had, I was obsessed on learning. I believe that that time from signing up to closing the deal is how dedicated you are, because they can only take you that far.
Welcome to this episode of the Success Journey of Real Estate Investors. Hi, my name is Brooke Ceballos Pinheiro. I'll be your host for today. Our goal of the show is to learn from first-time deal makers and the Michael Blanc products or programs that help them succeed along the way. Let's get to it. Today, our guest is Raquel Atkins. Did I say that correctly?
Yes, Raquel Atkins. Hello.
Yeah, female in the house.
Yes, we need more females.
So happy to have you here. So let's just jump right in. So tell me a little bit about yourself, your investing business, your journey, and how you're currently doing.
Well, I'm pretty new on the whole entire real estate world. My husband and I, we moved from California. Before we used to Texas. We used to do flips. We did a handful of flips in California, and we moved to Texas and wanted to pursue real estate full on. But I was always indecisive on which niche it would be my niche. You know, I was like a squirrel, you know, like I saw someone posting about Airbnb. I would take a class and learn everything about Airbnb. And then I'm like, no, that's not for me. So I was always searching for what would be my niche and that aligned with my goals, my ultimate goals, which I wanted to build generational wealth, you know, for my kids, especially for my kids. My kids are my biggest why. So we did a flip here, only one flip in Dallas, and it was enough to say no more ever flipping ever.
It's a lot of work.
Yes, but everything led me to today, you know, everything, my whole entire journey, even though it's not been a long time, led me to today, you know, to meet the team and being able to sign up for the program, which was the best decision I ever made. So my flip was horrible. We end up doing everything ourselves, even though my husband, Kyle, he has a construction background and we know how to do things manually, you know, the labor, but it's not what we wanted to invest. We didn't want to be the labor. And it was extremely hard for us to even find houses that was in the percentage without getting too much down payment. It was just a nightmare. And that project was a nightmare. And there was a big snow freeze here in Texas, and all of our brand new pipes was bursting, and that was Kyle underneath the house. I'm sure whoever fixed houses and flips, they know what I'm talking about. And I was like, unless we find off-market deals ourselves, unless we find an amazing contractor, this is not for me. So we started analyzing all the niches, you know, and I came across Michael on his Instagram and I became hooked immediately, you know. I started binge watching all of his content online, which is what I always tell people when they ask me how to start. There are so much free content out there. So it's good for you to go to first reach out to the free content and see if this is a niche. Like myself, for example, I was searching for what would be my niche. So I found him on I think I watched almost all of his YouTube videos. And then I find out that he was here in Dallas not long ago in June. I think it was June, yes. So in the Deal Maker Mastermind, and I signed up. I found it the day he was here, and I tried to get tickets, and I couldn't find tickets, and I messaged the Instagram. I'm like, oh my goodness, you were here, and I wish that I could make it, but there's no more tickets. And then he's like, well, come in. It was the end of the first day, so I was like, I'm just gonna come in. So we got ready and I went there, and it was like 1 hour left for the whole event. So we got to meet the team, and I just thought that this would be the best way for me to start. This is my niche. This is exactly what I wanted to do. You know, I wanted generational wealth and financial freedom, and I didn't want to have a million houses. I want to have a couple of apartments worth the same, you know. And I dived right in. You know, I found my people. I found the group. The team was absolutely amazing. You know, Jason, Anna, Brian, you know, everyone was just amazing. And I just signed up the very next day. Actually, there's more to that, because the next day they invited me to come in. So I didn't have a name tag. And people were like, so what's your name? I'm like, no, I swear I didn't crash the party. I'm here and invited. but it was good to get a more in-depth understanding about the program. And what I thought was, or I try to do this myself, continue to educate myself with the free content online, or I caught years of my struggle by signing up for a mentorship. And I'm so glad I did. And I took, for that flip that I was talking about, we actually had to sell my car because we could not afford to pay bills and maintain the house. And the flip was over budget and all those things. So I was without a car. So when we sold the property and gained the money back, instead of buying a car, I purchased Michael Blank program instead. And it was the best thing I ever did. And I'm so excited to be even speaking about it for people to take chances and take the step to sign up for a program like this.
That's awesome. So I'm going to have you be specific. Was it the group where it was, the online trainings, then you had the networking group, or was it the one-on-one mentorship with his group where they guided you for?
Yes.
Okay.
So I signed up for the mentorship. Yes. So the mentorship gave me all the tools that I needed. And not only that, but they signed me up with a mentor. After a certain period of time, they assigned you a mentor. And that's another thing. I think I'm going to be forever thankful for the whole entire team, because everything from welcoming me in the event to signing me up and working with financing and working with giving all the money to pay for the class, for the mentorship program, and assigning me the mentor was absolutely amazing. And I'm sure they took care of me, and they really looked after every step and what would be the best mentor for me. And I absolutely loved my mentor, which is Duhamel Vallon. And he was a big part of my success as well. He opened the doors for his team. So that's why I could get to close my deal so early in the program.
That's phenomenal. So can you kind of walk us through what that looked like? I know you crashed the party, right? You signed up for it. You sold your car. That shows dedication. You showed up. So help those understand, because I know I've spoken with those that are part of the networking group as I am, and they just do kind of like a month-to-month type of deal. How did that process go from you saying, hey, yes, here's my money, let's get this started? Tell me how it differed from your previous journey and what they did. What were kind of the steps? Like, how was the flow of doing this with them?
So my previous background, I used to own a beauty school. So I kind of had a big understanding about teaching and guiding people. So when I felt like I was a student and I had the right team, I knew that I would be much faster getting to my goals. But as well as I knew that it's not just the team, it's not just the program. You have to be, my mentality when I signed up for the team, and especially after the big investment, signing up for the mentorship for a year, was to a point of obsession. I don't have time to lose. I don't want to waste any more months of my life. This is what I want to do. This is a team that I want to do it. And Michael just provided me with all the tools and knowledge that I needed that was missing. So the moment I signed up, I became obsessed. I'm a mom. I have 2 small kids, 4 and 2 years old. My husband went back to work. Kyle is working, so he's in a prison right now. Poor guy. He's dying for us to make it big, because there's two sides of making it, right? One is your first deal, and another coin that I'm looking out for, that coin is a financial freedom coin, So he is kind of holding us financially monthly, because the money is a long-term goal. It's not something that you close your deal and you quit. It's not quite like that. I could do it, but then it would be just like the flip that we did. We quit everything and it was a nightmare. I have to sell my car. So it's not the step that I wanted. So it was a big investment, and it is a big investment. And I didn't have the free time before kids, for example. So I made sure that every free time that I had, I was obsessed on learning, because meeting on the Dealmaker Mastermind, Dealmaker Life, I met other mentees, and they've been in the program for 3 months, 6 months, 7 months. So it depends. I believe that time from signing up to closing the deal is how dedicated you are, because they can only take you that far. Everything else has to be on your own. So I made sure I remember binge watching all of the content, the educational videos within 2 months, 2 weeks. Actually, 2 weeks I was done. And I just started because one of the sessions is to start taking steps. And I just stopped taking steps. I start calling. And one thing that stood out for me about the whole program is not, he didn't just give me the knowledge and the tools. He worked with my mindset, which is something that I took up on myself to teach others and to guide others if they want to be involved with this whole industry, is your mindset. Because as you can see, I have visible tattoos. I'm not from here. I'm a mom. And all of those things were roadblocks in my way to becoming a real estate investor, because I had a pre-image of your regular guy, your Wall Street guy, your suit up Harvard kind of, yeah. So I'm like, how am I gonna fit? It's like sometimes I will receive deal summaries, deal summaries, executive summaries, and then you will see the pictures of the guys, and then I'm like, how am I gonna fit in there? I'm gonna stick out like a sore thumb, So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna block all of this, and I'm just gonna go for it because I'm smart, I'm capable, and I'm doing everything. And I remember one of the first videos content that I watched from the program, he said that. He said to have a morning affirmation. So basically he was talking and I was writing down his affirmation. I just copied straight up. It's exactly the same affirmations that he had. And I posted everywhere in my house, in the bathrooms, in the kitchen. So anytime I saw that, I was making sure I was reading it out loud. And I said to my husband as well, every time you go in there and you see those affirmations, read it out loud. So that worked a lot. Like we just had that in the background, kind of. And obsession, just completely, just every single free time that you have to be reading and watching and taking notes and reaching out and actually taking the steps, because he can only take you so far.
And I love that. That's why, and I feel the exact same way, because speaking with other women and friends I'm trying to get brought up, there's nobody out there. I'm like, there's nobody here that looks like me. And I also have, I have a few tattoos here.
Yep.
I have like 9 or 10 tattoos. Most of them are hidden because I'm also in the corporate world. Okay.
Exactly.
And, and so I completely understand. And I always know most of the women that are in here, because that's something that's very passionate to me, is empowering women, which is one of the reasons I love Vina Jetty. Do you know who Vina Jetty is?
I know her. Yes.
Most women know. She's so phenomenal, right? Oh yeah, and she was at Michael Blanc's event as well.
Yes, so I met her there. I stalked her. I'm like, I need to meet you.
and I love that you said be obsessed, because another guy, Grant Cardone, always said be obsessed or be average. And that's so true.
You have to.
For you.
Yep. Because people now think that, oh, you got your deal 3 months in. Yeah, but you didn't see the struggle that I went through. My mindset had to go through a whole struggle first. And then obsession came right after, like all of the obstacles that I put onto myself. And I'm like, it's 2022, like all of this corporate looking should just go away, And I actually embraced it. The fact that I will be a spokesperson for your everyday person wanting to be an investor, especially women, especially moms, because that's another thing that I was like, after I signed up, I came to my mom and I'm like, Mom, how am I going to do this? I just spent all this money. I have 2 small kids and they don't go to daycare, and I still want to be a mom for them, How am I going to do this? And I had her help, my mom's help, which helped me a lot. But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to make it work, and it's just going to present itself, the ways. And I became very organized, something that I'm always telling all the moms that ask me, like, how do you organize in your day? Like get your agenda, your planner, and just down to the hours and the minutes of your day, you just have it dedicated to something. I have time to play with my kids, time to go to the park, time to watch some more videos from Michael Blanc, time to connect with some investors. You just organize your day, and I follow it like very, very strictly. So that's how I could get it done. But again, it's like you have to be obsessed, because if you take it casual, it's gonna happen casually, So I don't want that. I want it to happen now, because I need it now. I want to be an investor now. And all of the barriers that I created for myself was torn like really quickly on,
And you touched on something. So I feel like I'm talking to my sister from another mister over here. Because we have a his and her family, right? So I have two daughters as well, and I have a demanding corporate job. And people are like, well, how do you do this? And my husband, with my bonus daughters, there's one's going off to college and so 4 girls. So let's just put that out there. And people are like, well, how do you have time to do all of this? I'm like, you prioritize what's important. Okay.
Exactly.
I don't Netflix all the time. And like
I know.
I live and die by my calendar, even if I'm having lunch with my husband, who's also, in construction. And so I'm like, okay, I just live and die. And I kind of go through there and set my alarms. And if I don't want to do something, I set an alarm. I'm only doing it for an hour, right? And you prioritize what's important. And to reverse you said something else earlier about how people didn't see the struggle and all they saw was, dang, she was in this for 3 months and boom, she had success. So I don't know if you've heard of Ed Milet or his book, The Power of One More.
Yes, I'm listening because I
don't
have the locks to be walking around with books. So I have to be changing diapers.
No, I listen to it on
I'm always with it in my ear.
Me too.
So I'm doing of One More. Audible.
The boring stuff around the house. I'm like educating myself.
And then sometimes my kid will ask me something. I'm like space out because I'm listening to the album. I'm like, oh, sorry. What?
I'm like,
that's how you get it done.
I think in my ear, I'm listening. Well, so have you gotten to his analogy about the piñata?
Yes, exactly.
Right? So I'll let you talk about that then. So talk about the analogy he gives on the piñata, where it's people's version of your success.
Yes.
You recall it?
Yeah. So it's people, as I mentioned before, people don't see your success and people don't see the struggle behind the success. And and even like, I feel even somehow embarrassed, but you should never dim your light to not outshine anyone. I know that, but sometimes this is a relationship business, so I want to be able to make connections and not be intimidated because that person feels like I am taking something away from them by being so quickly successful, but it is like that. Is the more you go after it, the more you hit the piñata, eventually the piñata will burst and you will get to eat the candies.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Every day, every little thing. And it's exactly what Michael say in the program. You have to take actions after learning that, because if you wait until you're ready, you will never be ready. There is never going to be a perfect time, a perfect moon, the stars align. It's just stop. That's not going to happen. You just have to take chances and go straight up. Every little thing that you created in that piñata eventually will create a big hole and then you can burst, so it's very important for you to be obsessed. I think that's the best name I can give. You have to be obsessed to be able to speed up your success and your way into your goals.
Okay, you know what? You answered probably like 3 other questions I had coming just from right there. So that's awesome. So team. So you mentioned this as well. None of anybody's success is ever done alone. So how did you grow a team, and what do you feel? Why is a team important, and how did you choose those people?
Before, even though I have a very outgoing personality, I am not very social lately. That's something changing in my life. As I become older, I'm not as social. But again, because I'm obsessed and I have this attitude of whatever within limits, of course, let's put it out there too, not whatever, but a lot of the things that are necessary for me to get to my goal, I will do it, because I am obsessed and I am a woman in a mission. I am on a mission to get to where I want to be. So if I need to call people, if Michael said that today I have to call at least one investor per week and speak to at least one broker per day, that's what I'm doing, so you have to be that. And if this kind of investment is a team sport, I am a social butterfly, you know what I mean? That's how my mindset is at the moment. And it is a teamwork, because especially syndication, especially multifamily investment, everyone has a role and everyone brings their strong suit to the team. So my investor, what happened was a little bit about the deal itself. The guy that sold me, the investor that sold me the house, the last flip that I did, the last and only flip here in Texas. he sold me the house. He was so impressed by our determination to finish the project that we kept in touch. So he called me and said that he had $1 million to 1031 into the next project, and he wanted to know what we were working on. So I said, this is a perfect moment, like this is just you couldn't call me in a perfect time, So I contacted my team representative, which is Jason. And I say, Jason, I know I've been in the program only 2 weeks, but I've done most of the course, as you can say, you can see in the system. And I have this opportunity. I have a $1 million to invest. I need to talk. I need you to assign my mentor. So that's why he assigned me my mentor a little bit earlier, because I had this chance to come in a deal with $1 million invested, So that's why he put me in contact with my mentor. And we spoke and we hit it up. Like, it was just a match. It was just a perfect match, because I remember going to his profile, his website, and everything that he spoke in his words, and he was like, I'm here to change the face of everything that I just said about changing the face of your Wall Street investor and bring more investment to women and minorities. I'm like, oh, Jason, you could not have picked a better team for me, like his whole team is about that. And I am the first real team member that is a woman, so I just brought such a strength to his team that I didn't think I had at first, because I'm still, even though I say that I am in that mindset, it's a constant struggle, it's a constant everyday work that you have to be doing for you to truly be able to say that you are in charge of your mindset. So I felt right at home, and they been welcome me, and actually not only for this first deal, but to more deals to come. We are raising money together. We have 2 more deals on the contract that I am raising money. So that's another thing is, I think you have to, when you go in a group, especially in syndication, what is your strongest suit, And I don't know what I'm good at yet, because I'm brand new, So what I did was, after talking to the team, I figured out what was the team lacking, and let me see if I can become that person. And right now I am a raising money monster. No, let's say diva. Let's say diva, not monster.
Yeah, no, but bottom line,
money.
Women get shit done. That's your
yes,
problem.
exactly.
You're a woman.
So
you get shit done.
I bring to
multitasking and doing.
Yeah, and I became very good on investors relations. So I am investor relation and capital raiser, and that's what I bring to the team. And it's just a match, when you get your right team, and they are not going to be my only team, because again, it's a team sports. I can be the same person for another team. We're not exclusive to one another, but it's nice to be able to find a team right on. And I think that investor, which by the way, fell through, he did not come through with the money. So, and I made this whole big deal about me having $1 million. And at the very end, he signed a soft commitment and everything. But at the very end, he turned down because he couldn't understand. It was too big of a project for him. Even though the returns were exactly what he was looking for, he couldn't understand the whole thing, which is another thing that we have to do, is educate the investors. So I wasn't going to let that affect me. So I became what I just said, a money-making machine, So I started working on my Instagram, which is another thing that everyone should do, your social presence, because you put it out there what you were doing. And I got 2 investors to invest with me through there. And Duomel, my mentor, kept me in the group, which was very good, and very thankful for that, because he could have said, oh, I'm sorry, I can continue to be your mentor, but you couldn't raise the money, so bye. But he didn't. So I had a lot to prove to him that I was going to make it. So he even said himself that for his first couple of deals, he brought 0 money. He brought other things, but not money. And for me to be able to raise money for that deal to compensate for the fact that I lost my big investor, it was amazing. And again, it was a lot of hard work, a lot of calling, a lot of hustling. You truly have to be obsessed,
No, that's awesome. And another thing I was going to add to, ¿habla español?
Sí, hablo.
Sí.
Soy brasileña, pero
So habla español también, that hay muchas personas, there's other people, si mi idioma es Spanglish, so I necesito más, pero yeah. So that's another superpower. I don't see a lot of women that habla español, so you have like a lot of whole other people that you get to communicate with, okay?
Correct. And I'm from I'm from Brazil, but I speak Portuguese, but I was raised in Spain for I lived in Spain for 16 years, so I speak
I'm
Spanish and
so
Portuguese.
jealous. I'm
Yeah.
so jealous.
So I
My
have two
father's
communities
half.
to be representing. I want to teach my Brazilian people here that lived in America. I want to be able to be that voice, because I do see a lot of Brazilian real estate investors talking about flips, but no one is talking about this kind of asset. But I want to be that person for my Latino community for sure.
Me encanta. But ay, perfecto. I love it. I love it. So this is something else, because I know, especially in all cultures, not just Hispanic, Latina, all cultures sometimes they have a bad money mindset. Some people
Oh yes,
have.
oh yes.
So how did
Sure.
you, and this is a hot topic in my network as well, how did you get comfortable? Maybe you were already comfortable talking about millions of dollars and not spending from your own pocket. How did you gain that comfortability, and how was your relationship with money?
Again, mindset. I think this journey has built me up, kind of like my husband has a military background. I think it's like the same thing that the military did to him, just wipe him of any kind of beliefs and the way he was raised and his mindset to become something new. That's how I feel that this program have worked in my mind, to kind of like just wipe down. I come from Brazil, it's a third world country. It's very rich in natural resources, but it's very poor on the admin side of it. So even growing up, we have a lot of debt, and it's bad debt, and we never own anything because we always want the latest of everything just to show. But it's a way as well to be able to give a little bit of a pleasure to our hard lives. I do know that too. But you have to think about the future. You have to think about, and I believe a lot of that as well has to do with my why. It's my kids. My kids are my biggest why. I want them to be able to have a life that I wish that I had, or not have the hardships that I had. And that's one thing that my husband and I made sure that we are going to do for them, is educate them on money. Big dad, poor dad, not rich dad, poor dad. That's the mentality. You have to educate your kids on the importance of money and how assets and liabilities work, and build your credit, and the good debt and things like that. So it was an educational journey for me to be able to. That's another barrier. I'm like, how am I gonna buy an apartment? Imagine that, explaining to my mom. I'm like, Mom, now I'm gonna be buying apartment complexes. She's like, what? So it's a whole educational piece that you have, and that's what made my journey right now, is to be able to educate the masses about it. That you don't need to have millions to start. You just have to be good at raising them, talking to people. You basically have to present yourself as a solution for people that have a lot of money. And instead of paying taxes, come in and work for us, or come make your money work for you, kind of things. So it's a whole education, it's a whole mindset change, but it's totally doable.
See, and you are so spot on, because there's so many successful, wealthy people out there that love their W-2, they love their day job, but they don't
Yes.
want to hunt for a deal,
Exactly.
call the brokers, do the
Exactly.
negotiations, do the due diligence, get up and invest in final, and in manage, because then you're an asset manager. Some people are
Yes.
landlords. That's not my bag. I rather,
Yeah.
manage the asset managers, right?
Mhm.
And people just, they have all this money and they want to duplicate it. They don't want to leave it in a bank or the
Exactly.
stock
Correct.
market that's freaking
Yeah.
all over the place.
And you're paying
And
taxes too. And you're paying high tax
exactly.
on your savings. So which is not
Exactly. When you
yeah.
refi, you're taking that money out
Yeah.
tax free. And I just think
Yeah.
the problem is you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
I didn't realize that in the beginning either. Like, why the heck are people wanting to give me money for something that I'm hunting?
Exactly.
But as you learn, you're
Mhm.
helping each other
You were
out.
basically providing a solution. That's how I like to see it, because at first I was like, oh my goodness, I feel like a saleswoman having to beg for their money, but it's not quite like that. You have to change your
Right.
mindset. Again, it's all about mindset. You have to present yourself as, I will bring a solution for you to double your money within 5 years, get cash flow monthly, and being able to pay less taxes, or even minimum to no taxes. So it's like, it's a win-win for both of us, for everyone. And you don't have to be involved with the day-to-day operations, and you don't have to be fixing the lights of the units if something goes broke. That's why we have a property manager, and before it gets to you, it gets to us first. So and another thing that I like to bring to my team is not only the asset management itself, but being able to provide a nice community for people that are living within one of our investments, because we are benefiting from the cash flow and the appreciation and all, but as well as I want to give back. So what we do that differentiates us from other people, which I brought to the team, was to create a community. Like we pay a little bit extra, but on Thanksgiving we bring some turkeys and give to the whole community. On Christmas we bring a little kids party for the kids, or Santa Claus, or things like that. So it's not just about the money at the end of the day too. You are providing housing, and we are providing a nice community, not just housing. So that's something that my investors like to hear, because they know they're not going to be slumlords, or we're just going to leave a request for maintenance 3 weeks without being answered. That's where I come around as well. I have a very good understanding about customer service, and especially you dealing with apartment. That's people's homes, and especially in today's economy, a lot of people, they are moving from single houses to apartments, which is good for us. But at least let's have the decency of providing the best apartment community that we can. So that's another thing that we bring to the table too.
I love it. I love it. So I have 2 more questions for you. One, what is a word or a phrase that would describe your real estate journey? It could be now, it could be for the future. I know I'm putting you on the spot here, but let me think of a word or a phrase that describes your journey.
Is being obsessed. That's what I spoke a lot. It's 2 things actually. It's being obsessed about it, but as well as you have to find your niche, and this has to be your niche, because at the end of the day, it's not just about the money. So if this is your niche, you get into it, you jump head first and be obsessed about it, and have the whatever you have to be done, you're gonna do it, because it's gonna take you to that financial freedom, and be obsessed and work on your mindset. That's 2 things that I have to say, like work on your barriers, just breaking all of your barriers, being focused, being laser focused, and being able to just be obsessed.
I feel like I'm talking to myself, talking to you. It's
nice.
Great. You take.
I'm like, you only have 2 more questions.
Yeah, you're making. Well, I'm trying to be respectful of the time. I could keep going, and then they can edit it for as much as they want. So, and for those people that are listening right now that are on the fence, what is some advice that you would give them?
Look for the free content first. Michael Blanc has a lot of free content. Because I feel like they are my team, and I will be forever thankful for the whole entire team. So they are part of my journey and my start. Join the Facebook group. They have, if you can't afford, or if you're not sure if you want to go for the whole mentorship, they have a program that you pay monthly, and you have access to the training and to the SDA, which is the program that we use to analyze deals. And we have a strong community as well. So I think binge watch and be obsessed about the free content out there to figure it out if that's something you want to do, because it's a big investment. And again, it's like once you choose to go ahead, that's the mentality to be. It's not like to be in, it's being obsessed. So before you be obsessed, just see if this is something for you, with the free content, with the YouTube, with Facebook groups, with the membership first, and start connecting with people on social media, start asking questions, start seeing how it works behind the scenes, start telling everyone that you are getting into that field, because you're going to need those contacts. Everyone around you has to know that you now are an investor, and because eventually you will reach out to them and say, hey, would you like to invest with me? So start creating that awareness around you that you are, and how amazing it is to invest in multifamily. And just go for it. It's never going to be the right time. If you have kids, it is doable. I'm here to tell you, and I like to consider myself a very present and good mom. So it is possible to be a good mom and still kick ass. I don't know if you can say that, bleep that out, but it is possible. Yeah, just bleep. Yeah, so it is possible.
I said shit earlier.
Yeah, exactly. We're just gonna be a bunch of blips, and like this tattoo girl,
I know. I have to like watch bite my tongue too. Because our family's all military too, as well. We kind of have mouth on it, so I have to like chin check myself sometimes. for those that aren't watching, maybe listening, because I know you have this really cool banner in the back where it has people, how they can connect with you, right? Can you verbally tell people who are only listening, how do we get in touch with Raquel Atkins? How do we connect with you?
So my Instagram is the one that I'm most active on, and there's a lot of nice education content, but as well as fun, because that's the way I am as well. I learn more if it's fun. So it's rockstar_investors. So because I believe that everyone that follows me should be a rockstar investor, edgy and strong and going for it. So it's rockstar singular _investors. And my website is Adkins with ADKINS Estates LLC.com. And I'm on LinkedIn as well, Raquel Atkins with D as in December. So and I would love to connect. I would love to give you tips and encourage you to go for it, because I know sometimes you just need a little push.
Yes, Raquel Atkins, everybody. Telling you, bringing the fire.
Yes.
I appreciate you so much. I'm definitely gonna have to set up a call because I have more questions for you. And I always think it's so important, no matter where you're at on your journey, you learn from the rookie and you learn from the seasoned person. You learn from the janitor, you learn from the CEO. There's always different variables and different things that people bring to the table. Okay.
Yes.
So I know I'm a little over, but you found
they're gonna cut some of our talking, but it's okay.
Yeah, but I'll be connecting with you again because we got it.
Yes, I would love to, Brooke. It was so nice to talk to you, and thank you
pleasure
for the team to invite me in. I have so much to say. You know, we could go on for hours.
I believe, especially you and I. It's like
we have to have part 2 of this interview.
What was that? Oh yeah,
we have to have part 2.
Yes.
Yes. As I do more deals and I become more knowledgeable, I want to share how to get there.
You need to. That's the whole point, is that you are hoping that your mistakes and learnings will accelerate the path for other people, so then they don't make those mistakes. And it's a proven fact as well that the more women, the more wealthier they are, the more they give back to their communities.
Because you have to
invest and help others. So when the going gets tough, you know, you remember your why, like your kids, you remember how you're going to give back, what's the legacy you're going to leave, you know. And it's
I know we are over the time, but there's something else I wanted to add to this right here, because they're going to pick and choose what they want to edit. But one very important part of the learning when I was binge watching all the content from the Michael Blank mentorship was that he was saying about the mindset that you have to have when you start, right? When you start, the only thing that you think about is becoming financial free, meaning quitting your 9-to-5 and your W-2 forever, right? But then after all of that, after you being free for a while, what you're going to do with your life, you know, especially for very active people like myself, what you're going to do. And it's going to be pretty early in my life, you know, so I'm going to have my whole rest of the life left and free with all this time. Sure, the kids are going to be in school. I'm going to have a lot of time in my hand. What you're going to do about it? And that moment blew my mind, because I was like, oh my goodness, I never passed the point of being financially free. What else is out there? So that's why I kind of became that person, to be that image of your everyday person making it in the industry, you know, and the big Walmart, not Wall Street, in between the Wall Street investors, you know. So that's why I wanted to be that person to say, hey, look at me, you know, like, and I went for it. So you can be as well, and women too. So that's it became my mission to educate and to inspire your mindset to be in the right mindset to start this, that there is no barriers, there is no roadblocks. You just have to go for it. And that's something very nice that the program has allowed me to develop in my own mind.
Essentially, what I took from that is you're the only one getting in your way. So everybody listen to Raquel and get the hell out of your own way. And
I thought of my tattoos. I thought of being Latina. I thought of my accent. I thought of my lack of knowledge. I wasn't very good at numbers, and I transform everything. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be excellent in numbers. I'm going to be excellent in the SDA. I'm going to be excellent with percentages. So that's me right now, you know, being obsessed, you know, nothing can get in your way.
I love it.
Yay!
Mucho gusto, mucho gusto.
Yes,
Such a pleasure meeting
igualmente.
you. And I was looking forward to this, and I look forward to chatting more as well.
Yes, thank you, Brooke.
Keep
Thank you,
your
the
email
whole
box. I'm going
team.
to be emailing you.
Yeah,
Hasta luego.
bye.
Que tenga un buen día.
Bye, y usted también.